But the tube, the hang on, the train is going through the pipe, which makes it a tube.
Hang on. What? So let me get this straight. By your definition, if it's a tube until it's filled and then it becomes a pipe.
Until something passes through it, then it's a pipe.
So a straw becomes a pipe when you
Apparently
drink
so,
through
yes. Yeah.
And you're on the tube system until the train arrives, and it's the pipe system.
No, no, it's always a tube because there's always something going through the pipes, so they are tubes.
No, you just said tubes are the empty bits. Pipes are the filled bits.
Yeah, and the tube system is full of stuff. Have you ever been
pipes.
down there? It's full of stuff.
So it's filled, and if it's a pipe, if it's a tube,
So then
that's
it's
filled,
a tube.
No, it's
Oh no, it's a pipe, isn't it?
It's a pipe.
No.
So by that definition, the tube system is a tube system until the train arrives, and then it's a pipe
It's
system.
a pipe. Yeah, what's the matter with that? I don't see a problem.
And if someone's smoking a pipe, once it runs out of tobacco, they're smoking a tube.
It would appear so, yes.
So when people joke about like planes being metal tubes flying through the air, they're lying. Really, they should be saying metal pipes because it's actually got things in it.
It has got things in it, yes.
Right.
Anyway.
Jim, you got anything else to add to this?
No, my mind is blown.
But that's another thing. But if you blew through your mouth, would that technically be pipe?
Well, how far does the rabbit hole go?
Shut your pipe hole.
Oh no, Darren's online and he's got the wrong settings on his mic.
The train at platform 4 will be alighting at 7:22.
Oh, there he is. He switched it over.
Oh,
Is that the
jump
loud-
jam in there?
Loudest mouse click ever.
Oh, he's doing it again. Fucking hell. Oh, he's gone away. He's got the ump. So while he's away, let's continue the tube talk.
This is a shonky lad waiting to happen, clearly. He's almost
Same definition.
like a lexicography, sort of conspiracy theory. How much is wrong?
Yeah.
Is it a pipe of Smarties now? The implications are staggering.
If you were in the mid 80s and you were watching Channel 4, was it really the tube if Jules Holland was on it? I mean,
I know. Everything's broken now, isn't
it
it?
is.
Jesus Christ fucking mighty. Here I am at last.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Are you in a 1980s sauna?
Turn your volume down. Oh, he's done it. The last thing, Elton.
Yeah.
Do you know the difference between a boat and a ship?
Oh, God.
Hang on
This
a
is
second.
not going to be pretty, is it?
No. See, Darren, you come in at the end of a very in-depth, mind-blowing conversation that Elton's just thrown at us about tubes and
I
pipes.
can't remember where I heard it.
Well, I was there for the one he had about biscuits, but that was on a podcast, so, I mean, I understand. This is a bit more complicated than fucking biscuits, so fuck me, where is he
you
taking
wouldn't believe
this?
how far this goes.
Yeah, you wouldn't
Gee,
believe
man.
how far the rabbit hole goes.
Mind-blowing.
Is the
The
three-legged
rabbit pipe.
dog America?
Not
Right,
far
so-
off. I tell you what though, rabbit holes. Is rabbit hole a pipe or a tube?
Oh.
Depends where the
Darren,
rabbit
what is the difference between a pipe and a tube?
What's the difference between a pipe and a tube? Well, one you stuff tobacco in, and the other one you ride a train through. Yep. No.
No. Prepare.
that kind.
Are
Oh,
you?
if only it was that simple.
If only it were that simple. We go down into sort of eldritch geometry here, mate.
Where did I hear this from?
Go on, fill his mind. Bring him up to speed.
No, don't fill my mind. I don't need my mind filled. Thank you very much. Not with stuff that I'm not going to find useful, like how to breathe. In, out.
No,
in,
are you breathing
out.
through a tube?
No, but I'm sure I probably will be after this. But because he will blow my tiny little mind. Yeah.
Apparently, according to Elton, a tube.
Why
is
are we
just-
not recording this on the podcast?
I am recording this.
We are. Oh, cool. All right. I was going to say this is content.
This is content.
This is content.
As soon as Elton came out with the fact, I thought, "Fuck this! I'm going to record this shit and
Oh,
stick
God,
it right
yeah,
at the
you
beginning of
should
the podcast."
This is some of the finest work we've done on Black Dog.
But a tube is just a hollow thing with a hole at either end, and if it gets filled, it becomes a tube.
Yeah, if you pass water through it, then it becomes.
A pipe.
Hang on,
A pipe.
a pipe. I'm
Yes.
getting confused now.
Well, hold on then. So
Here we go.
You're confused.
so a straw is a pipe.
That's what I've done. That's exactly what I said. So
Yeah,
kids
exactly.
are pipe smokers. Kids are pipe smokers. McDonald's endorses pipe smoking.
Do they smoke what? What they smoke a milkshake or?
So, is it a tube or a pipe when it gets stuck up a turtle's nose?
Oh, good lord! I'm so glad you said turtle's nose. I'm thinking.
If your turtle's head gets stuck, is it a pipe or a tube?
So if you shove it up ass, right? Okay, you go to doctors. How do you describe it? Do you say I've got a pipe up my ass, or do you say I've got a tube?
As long as you're not pooing, it's a tube.
It's a tube.
If you're pooing, it's a pipe.
If there's liquid coming out, it's a pipe.
Oh good lord! Right, we haven't even started the fucking podcast yet.
Okay.
Confused? You will be.
So, ship and boat.
Yeah, ship and boat. A ship goes on the sea, and a boat goes in the sea. So when you're on a submarine, that's a U-boat, not a ship. And a ship will float on the water.
So
a
what's
boat
a
goes-
rowing boat then? Because that doesn't go underwater unless you fill it with
That's
water.
a tube.
That's a tube. I call bullshit. I call bullshit on everything.
That's what I can't work out about an inner tube. If you've got an inner tube,
But what about the outer tube?
What
Is
about
there
the
an
outer
outer tube? If there's not an outer tube, then how far does the tube outside of the tube extend?
exactly. If a tube and is a tube ever really empty? So
Oh,
it's
yeah,
always
exactly.
a pipe.
Yeah.
What is the tube of? What is the sound of one tube slapping? Ah. Oh.
Dum, 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 dum.
Yeah. There you go. See? So that's it. So everything's always a pipe, regardless.
Fair enough. So
I mean-
so there's no such thing as a tube.
No, there's no such thing as a tube because it's always. Oh, Darren's gone. It's always full. So there. I say good day, sir.
So okay. So
I said good day.
Tubes are no more. So we can scrub that word from the language.
Yeah.
Tube is no one need say tube ever again.
No, not even a tuba, because it'd be a piper.
I don't know what's going on here tonight, guys. I've got it on the LAN connection and everything, and it's just dropped clean feed.
That's all right. It's all right. Jim had the same problem, but we're back now.
The Russians are hitting everything. They've hit Facebook. They've hit Instagram.
Was it the Russians? I don't.
Yeah,
I
they're hitting
missed it.
clean feed.
Oh no.
We've hit rock bottom.
Yeah,
That's who we've.
Yep.
Yeah. Right. I think we can say
We're
that
not
there.
allowed to record your podcast. We will destroy you and take off clean feed.
Hello, we are Duck Puppy Podcast. Yes. This I am Eel, This is Ranrad. This is Midge. And this is Elon. Hey.
Notler.
Nutler.
This is
Notler.
Notler, Midge, Eel, and Narad.
Hey, groovy. We are talking about songs and shit and movies.
Yes.
I dug up some potatoes today.
I pulled the tractor out of the mud. And now some balalaika music.
I have
Endorsed by-
machine gun. I clean machine gun. I put machine gun away.
I fall
Yes.
out of window.
Men from my country are always going everywhere quickly. That's why they're called Russians.
You will not harm my cousin.
Very old space station. Always touching things. Anyway, I think we can stop it there. But
From Taiwan, other song from USA. All made in Taiwan.
don't start. We're all in trouble with the Russians. Let's not go down the Taiwanese.
They do
accent.
not know about this. It is fine.
I will not buy this record. It is scratch. Right. Let's get this fucking podcast going. So I was at the airport the other day and I saw a woman faint on the luggage carousel at the airport. But it was okay. She came around slowly.
Oh,
Oh.
Come on.
Was her name Carol Fell?
What?
No.
No. Hello?
No.
Is this on?
Hello?
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. I need to turn that one down. That's better.
Let me just write this down. Note to self: don't respond to jokes.
No, you can respond to jokes. Just do a good one. It's allowed.
Sick burn.
Yeah, it's allowed. Sorry about that. Anyway, back to the thing. Surnames are usually what your ancestors did for a living, so I assume everyone named Fitzgibbons had a great grandfather who excelled at cramming apes into a container. And do you know what you call a cheese that isn't yours? Nacho cheese. Hello?
God.
Hello? Hello? Oh well. Anyway, I tried donating blood the other day. Never again. Too many questions. Like, whose blood is it? Where did you get it? And why is it in that bucket? Anyway, hello everyone, and welcome to the Black Dog version 265. I'm Lee.
I'm Darren.
I'm Jim.
You're Jim.
I wasn't expecting that accent.
And this is Laughing Boy McManus.
Elton.
No, he's introduced me. There we go. That's
Oh,
it.
right. Okay.
Yeah,
Didn't
Laughing
realise.
Boy McManus.
Laughing Boy.
Or should I say laughing boy?
Boy.
Anyway.
Oh, that's
Right.
a nice joke. Nobody will get that. Lee.
No one will
No,
get that. No
no,
one. No,
not at all.
not at all. Anyway, yes. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the podcast. And this week we will see how everyone's week's been, and then if there is any feedback for last week's movie, we will be reading that out. And then we will be moving on to this week's film, which was my choice, which was supposed to be The Taking of Pelham 123. However, thanks to the miracles of Amazon and Google working together to say that this film was available, what they neglected to tell us was it was available only if you subscribe to the MGM channel. So thanks and fuck you very much for that. So we've moved on. We've moved on to my other choice, which is Hell or High Water, which was not a panic choice, honest gov. It was, it was a choice I was going to pick at some point.
Of course you were.
I was.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. Honest.
Yeah.
I was. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yes. We have been we have been sabotaged. Anyway, so let's find out how everyone's week's been, and we'll start with you, Jim. How's it been, sir?
Well, it seems to be somewhat gremlin laden.
Certainly has, isn't it?
Oh, bloody hell. For a Sunday night, I was trying to watch something on iPlayer, and Sneech did that most annoying kind of pause where it actually stutters a sound. So, blah, 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 blah. Is that Christ? Turn it off.
Yep.
So I thought, oh, bollocks that. We'll watch something on Plex, my media server from my digital collection.
Yes.
And literally every 5 minutes I had to stop to buffer, despite for reasons unknown.
Right.
The day after that, when Teresa was working from home, she found because she works in social services, she has an encrypted laptop, lots of sensitive information, and she couldn't log on or get into anything or download anything. And from what we can tell, it's the VPN has updated itself and it's been made super secure, so secure it won't talk to its own server anymore. Literally won't even let it download an email.
It sounds like someone slipped a Faraday cage over your house.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Then today, literally, I was just leaving for a hospital appointment. I found I'm logged out of Facebook. I can't log back in, and everyone else, they panic. They go, "Oh my god, have I been hacked?" And I was like, "Why are you doing this now?" I'm literally, I'm just going out. You got fucking hell.
Yeah, I think this whole thing comes under the heading technical gremlins. I don't know what's going on.
It does. I don't know. Are the stars in the wrong alignment at the minute? Is everything breaking? You know what I mean?
The world's been
Stop it!
world's been pummeled by some magical EMS field or something. It's just horrible.
Was it solar flares?
Could be. It could
60s flares.
Have you got like an aurora outside?
or maybe even a Triumph Vongole. No.
Well,
No, sorry. That's another niche joke.
Another niche joke, Lee.
Wow.
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry, I'm wrong audience. Moving on. Sorry, Jim. Carry
We
on.
need a jingle for that soon.
I'm actually going to look that up, actually.
Niche joke. This will be understood by approximately 2 people out of 400. Yeah. So anyway, go on, carry on, Jim. Sorry.
So other than that, I've actually we did spot what is probably the closest I'm going to come to seeing a real life cryptid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, over the past few months, since about December, there's been stories in the local paper about people sighting a deer in the town in weird places.
Right.
Like literally, like in the town centre and like in a school playground and all. And I believe it is a deer that is wandering around and just I don't know where it's pissed. I don't know. You know, I'm supposed to be in forest glades. But we actually have seen it. It does exist.
All right.
We saw at least somewhere remotely sensible and a viable place for a deer to be hanging out.
The bus shelter.
No. It was actually the local cemetery.
It's a zombie deer.
Well,
Why am I not shocked that Jim just goes around the local cemetery?
Well, we've got a really big, nice Victorian one, and it's all like heavily wooded, and it's all nice paths, and it's still obviously very quiet, and it is full of rabbits and squirrels, and our dog thinks it's a theme park, basically. we took there once, and she absolutely loves it. And when we go there now, you have to drive to get there. And when she go through the gate, she's like jumping about on the back, and she's like, "Come on, woof woof, let me out, let me out, let me out!" She's over the moon. It's her favourite place in the world currently. It is just like to her, it's like a doggy theme park because there are rabbits, squirrels. Oh, found a cat in a bush last week. That was exciting. Bloody hell!
Oh right.
She had a great time. I think it's amazing. But we were wandering around the other Sunday, and Teresa said, "Is that a statue someone's put there?" And we looked, and there was in the distance. You look down a path, and we could see on a grave what looked like a statue of Bambi.
Right.
And then it moved. And it's like, oh my God, it's the rogue deer. And it's like, well, it's a nice place. It's all like, there's lots of trees and blah, blah, blah. It's a more sensible place for it to be rather than like the last sighting was like outside the sports centre, which I've been getting, is this real? Really? What would a deer be doing? I've gone for a swim, surely. But yeah, so we saw the deer. I mean, obviously, it's kind of, we have no proof of this because this sort of thing of kind of, well, if there are aliens, why didn't get one on the capture on the phone? Have you tried firing your phone up at short notice and trying to get the bastard camera to work to get something? Forget it. That's why there's no pictures of monsters and UFO. We all got because phones are too shit.
Right, there you go. Heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen.
There is no way you can get your phone out there, unlock the screen, and it's gone. Mind you, it's at such a distance, so in fairness, phone camera, you wouldn't, anything close up, fine, but anything a bit far away, the lens goes, I'll tell you what, you'll take that shot, you think, that's a nice landscape. And when you look at it at home, you'll go, I've moved that back 200 meters for you, made it even further away. Thank you, Tar. Because that's the limitations of phone camera lenses.
Yep.
So it's probably a bit far away, even if we could have got the phones to cooperate at short notice, but it just scampered away. But yeah, I was going like, did you just see a deer?
Just, nice. Cool.
That was a nice uplifting moment. So there you go.
That's lovely. Oh, that's cool. So are you going to try and find the deer now? Is that your now your new
depends
mission?
What the price of venison is, and I've got bills to pay.
Yeah, he's the butcher on the lookout. Nice. Oh well, there you go. That's good to know. Dinner around Jim's. Nice. Cool. Anything else, sir?
No, I'll leave that there.
Okie dokie. Cool. In which case, we shall move on to you then, Elton. How's your week been, sir?
Very good. Thank you very much. Life is shit as always, which is always nice to go through.
Nice.
I managed to get to the dentist this week.
Oh God.
Yep.
Right.
Have you ever had a dentist climb on your chest while
Yes.
working on you?
Only when I pay for it. On a Saturday.
I could tell you a tale, but I shan't right now because I know people are always a bit funny about teeth, myself included, and no good will come of me telling you that story. But yes, go on.
That was an experience.
Mm-hmm.
So up until this point, I've only ever had one filling in one of my canines at the front of the canine. Okay.
Mm.
So what I went through the other day was a bit of a shock.
Mm-hmm.
And they had the small drill out, and you're like, okay, fine. And apologies if ever I can hear you tensing already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then they got what can only be described as something that removes welds from metal. A massive, she went, I'm going to go for the big drill now. I went, oh, okay, you do what you have to do.
Why would she tell you that?
Because she clearly knew that it would be vibrating my brain around in my skull.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. That was not fun. And when they're working on you and you don't know what they're doing, but you're putting all your trust in them, you're like, what the hell are you doing? I don't understand. She was having a proper old rummage around in there, I'll tell you.
So you didn't feel anything?
I didn't feel it, no, because they did the injections and then they said, okay, right, can you feel this? I went, I don't know. You could be slicing me open for all I care. I don't care. I can't feel a thing. But, when you feel the force of something happening, you might feel a bit of pressure. All that malarkey. You're like, oh, really? And then she promptly pushes my tooth through my eyeball and out the socket. It's like, oh, my God. But everything's all hunky-dory now. So that was fun.
Okay. See, because the problem I have just to follow this up is that a lot of the anesthetics don't the anaesthetist stuff for locals don't actually work on me terribly well.
Really?
So when they go for it and then they're going, you shouldn't be able to feel anything, and I'm like, well, I fucking well can. I'm fucking gonna hurt you very much. So I have to go for the full hook bang. See you on the other side. You're going to be talking to mushrooms for a couple of hours, kind of affair.
Count to 10.
Yeah,
1, 2.
Yeah. Well, I had to have an anaesthetic so strong that I actually leant out of the car while Carol was driving me back home, and I saw the dentist going off for their lunch break, and I leant out the window and went, "I fucking love you. You're the best person ever." That's kind of how much I have to be dosed up just to have a fucking tooth. So yeah, I was like, and the dentist is kind of like, no, fuck.
Yeah.
So So you not feeling anything is actually a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the bit where I had like the tooth break off at the back, this happened like 4 years ago, so it's cool.
I'm not listening.
Where they filled it with sunbeams and beautiful songs on Radio 2.
Shut up, Wesley.
It feels like there's constantly something in my tooth, like it's full of peanut butter or something like that.
Oh,
so
right, okay.
I keep like jabbing it with my tooth, my tongue, like.
Things you can say about a dental operation and in the bedroom. Keep
feels like
it with my tongue.
It feels like it's filled with peanut butter.
It broke my tooth at the back of my mouth.
I felt a lot of pressure.
She was wailing on me.
Have you ever had someone stand on your chest?
I'm getting the big drill now.
Yeah, I felt like my head was vibrating.
Can you feel this?
He had to hit me with some powerful drugs before I became unconscious.
Oh, good Lord. Yeah.
You'll feel a little scratch.
Just a little prick.
Open wide.
All injections now go, you might feel a slight scratch.
A
stop
slight
people doing
scratch.
it's just a little prick joke.
Yeah.
And you head you off at the pass with that one now.
Yeah, it's just a little prick. Well,
And-
yeah.
And to use the James Belushi joke, Belushi joke was, "What's in that cement?" Like, oh God.
I can't say anything more. I have a massive dental phobia. I really do. Just tell those stories when I'm not around.
Okay.
Or give
Well,
me a
that's
warning.
it at the moment. So I'm all in the clear at the moment. So
Fantastic.
hunky dory. Still a bit bruised though.
Bruised?
It does feel a bit bruised. Yeah.
Again, stuff you can say about dental treatment and performance in the bedroom. I'm a bit bruised.
A week on, I still feel a bit bruised.
I still find it a little difficult to sit down. Yeah. Anyway.
He had me gagging. He really did.
Yeah. My jaw's dislocated. Anyway. Yes. Anything else, Elton? Have you had something which didn't involve dislocating your jaw or pushing metalwork into your face?
I have no gag reflex.
Oh, Lord. Is this something you've only just discovered? Or?
No.
Now
No,
spit. Is that just... No, it's just me then. All right, fine.
That's it. That's it for my week.
Yeah, this will make your breath smell fresh.
No, I just need you to put this rubber apron on.
Just lie back. It'll all be over soon. Right.
Have you ever heard Huey Lewis in the news?
Do you the magnificence of their album Sports. Anyway, cool. I think we'll move on there.
Okay.
Because no, I just no, not with dental stuff. No, Darren,
Yes.
you, what you do?
What I do?
What
I
you do? What you do?
I do stuff.
Did you do stuff? Go on in. What did you do? He's gone away.
He's disappeared, hasn't he?
That's what he's
gone.
done. He fucked off.
Okay, let's make up. What did he do? I think he wrestled an ostrich to the ground.
I'm back.
And you're back.
He's
I'm
still
back.
watching Lord of the Rings.
I am still watching Lord. I am actually. I've got to be very quiet. Still in the cinema, I'm working. Shh. We're halfway through the first film.
Man flesh.
Meat's on the menu, boys.
They made again things you can say in a Lord of the Rings film and in the bedroom. Meat's on the menu, boys. Ah, yes. Allow me to put my finger through your ring. No. Okay. Right.
Yes.
My precious. You have my axe.
Potato.
Yeah.
Potato.
Hold on.
Potatoes.
Anywho,
Yes.
When you put on the
Bilbo,
ring,
give the ring to Frodo.
when you put on the ring, I won't be able to see you. What? I'll be invisible? No, you'll be in my blind spot.
God Almighty!
They call him the Ranger.
Strider.
Oh, Strider, that's it.
Strider. They call him Strider. Oh, good Lord. Anyway, yes, Darren.
Yes. Okay. Well, I will start off by telling you about a couple of books that I've had the pleasure of reading this week. Well, I'm partway through one and I finished the other one. The first one I finished last week is a book by an author by the name of Grady Hendrix called Horror Store. Don't know if you remember me talking about this a few weeks ago. It's to put it basically, it's about a haunted IKEA-style store. I'm not shitting you. I'm
being attacked by a bloke.
Actually, yes, that's how it happens. They describe these things by the names they've given these products.
The Billy bookcase is in the house.
Indeed. But it starts off with three characters. One of them's a store manager, and the other two are sort of like they work in the store. He gets them to do a little bit of overtime to try and find out why stuff is going wrong in the store overnight while nobody's there. And basically they discover there is a supernatural influence that's making this stuff happen. That's all I'm going to tell you because I think you should read the book. What I will say about this novel, the actual novel itself, it actually the book itself looks like an IKEA catalogue, right? They've done a really, really good job on this. You open it up and each chapter gives you the description of another piece of furniture that they sell in the store. In fact, it's got a map of the store at the beginning. It's got welcome to Orsk, and it gives you a description, the history of the store itself. It's just great. It's even got like order forms and stuff like that running all the way through it. And you notice there is a noticeable change to the adverts as the story progresses,
right?
As well. So it's worth taking notice of this kind of stuff. It reads just like a film or a TV show. It's I really enjoyed it. Although it was great. So really easy read. Not a very long book, but looking forward to this. If he ever decides to bring out a sequel to this, I don't know where he's going to take it, but I'd be there for it. There's a couple of his other books that I want to have a look at as well. So one of them's called My Best Friend's Exorcism, which sounds quite good as well. And the other one that I started this week is by a bloke by the name of Tom King. Now, if you read comic books or anything like that, Tom King is a name you've probably heard of before. He's the one that wrote the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, which is the one that James Gunn is basing his version of Supergirl on. So this book, and I love the title of it, is called A Once Crowded Sky.
Right.
And it's about a place called Arcadia City that's got quite a few superheroes in it, or had quite a few superheroes. The Earth is threatened by this energy wave called the Blue. And what happens is, to save it, every single superhero except one has to give up their powers to deal with this. And the person that absorbs all these powers is he's the Superman version in their world called the Ultimate, and he dies sort of like sacrificing his life and everybody's powers to get rid of this thing. It's a very interesting study about what happens to people who were literally gods, who suddenly become very, very human, and the sort of struggles that they go through after this. The book itself, again, pretty unusual. It's part graphic novel, part novel, and there are news reports in it and stuff like this. Every chapter has got sub-chapters which are titled like a comic book episode. So it'll be like Ultimate, the Man with the Metal Face, number 567, or it'll be Sicko Volume 2? I've not got that far actually, but
okay.
But no, very, very good so far. Really enjoying it. It's quite sad at this point in the book, because they are going through sort of like people, like a lot of heroes going to therapy and having to deal with this. And some of them are faring a bit better than others, but there's alcoholism, drug use, ones that still believe that they can be heroes, but are finding that without their powers, things are a mite harder than what they had it before. This the one person that's still got his powers, let's just say they don't look on him very kindly, but you'll read that in the novel anyway if you actually do get to read it. I picked up for about a tenner from this was, I think it's 2017, right. 2015's released, but I got it for a tenner.
Nice.
In one of the local bookstores. But very good. Like I say, looking forward to getting through that and finishing it, and then having a look at his other one for the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow. Going to read that next.
Okie dokie.
So, apart from that, I did go off to the cinema, and I went to watch Dune Part 2.
Dunk 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Dunk 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Right.
Wow. It's visually stunning, but not for... I mean, the scenes on Arrakis, don't get me wrong, are absolutely beautiful, but what they do in this film, unlike the book, they give you a little bit more insight into the Harkonnens.
Okay.
And you do get to see their world, as it were, and what they do, the way they represent it is just wow.
Don't spoil anything.
No, I'm not. It is. I won't. But it is. I mean, with the Harkonnens, you get the impression anyway, watching the first film, reading the books, there are only two types of people that are Harkonnens. There's the feared and there's the fearful.
Right.
And the artistic choice they make for representing the Harkonnens, their way of life and everything, absolutely, yeah, I'm down with that. Yeah. I think they get it spot on. Really is. It's quite, the visuals for it are amazing. Really is. But you're going to have to watch it to see what I mean. I've got to say also, Austin Butler for me is that's the performance that stands out in this. He plays Fade.
Yeah. Does he go? Oh, thank you very much.
No, he doesn't. You know the guy that plays Baron Harkonnen in this? Is it Bill Skarsgård?
Yep.
Yeah. he manages to mimic his voice because they're related in it. He sounds
Yeah.
almost exactly like him.
Wow.
There's like, honestly, he's Austin Butler has got a heck of an ear for accents.
Bit like us doing Russian.
Yeah, exactly. But no, he's much better than that. But he's
Mm.
he's really
Well, it's better than our Russian accent.
What is wrong with our accent?
But
Yeah.
as Fade should be, he is a complete and utter cunt. Just deliciously so. Yeah, no, he's really, really good as Fade.
Yeah.
Those expecting Sting Part 2 can just fucking forget that.
Oh,
No,
right.
No, this Fade would eat that Fade for fucking breakfast.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, he's really good. So highly recommend it.
Yep.
Go see it.
Mm-hmm.
See what you think. I'm gonna have to go and see it a second time. I've got a cinema card now, so I can go and see as many films as I like during the month.
Oh,
So I
look
might
at you.
just pop off and go and see that again.
Oh, Mister, I've got the cash. Splash
No, I
the
haven't got the cash. No. This is like £15 a month, and it's like 2 films that's already paid for itself.
Oh, right. Okay.
So there's a bunch of other things as well that I get discount on food, and there's special showings and stuff like that. So
Right.
yeah. So there we go. So there's that. So yeah, June Part 2. Yeah, go see it. Great film. Really, really good.
Cool.
And the last thing, just went out on the weekend to see my son and my future daughter-in-law. They're actually getting married tomorrow. They've gone off to have a small ceremony in the US. Unfortunately, I couldn't get a cash together to go. So
That's because you were spending it on Dune tickets.
That's it. Yeah, that is it. But no, they're coming back and they're holding a sort of like a big party here in the UK. So I'm all geared up for that. Got the grandparents all organised, ready to drive up there and go along. So looking forward to that.
Are you DJing? Have you got your little mixing deck from Richer Sounds?
Oh yes, I have. Yes, that's in the
Richer Sounds mixing deck.
That's in the boot of the car right now. So
your 50 copies of now that's what I call music.
Yep, I've got me book full of CDs.
That's
okay, I've got that. I've got me a sparkly shirt. I've got the
Darren Diamond's Wheel of Steel.
Hey, yeah, we're gonna go crazy now with a bit of Phil Collins and Groovy Kind of Love.
Now it's sub. Ain't no love, ain't no use.
Yep. Been in New Order and Blue Monday.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the extended edition. I'll see you in 15 minutes. I'm at the bar.
Yeah, I'm off for a shit. Bye.
Yeah.
So, you're right.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's right.
Okay.
Sorry,
That's
that's me.
right.
Sorry.
Nobody's killed over and died.
Not yet. Give it time.
Okay. So yeah, that's basically my week.
Brilliant. Okie dokie. Well, cool. Well, I'll keep mine brief then because I haven't really got an awful lot. If I'm honest, I've started watching a thing on Netflix called Furies, which is it's on Netflix. It's French, and it's like someone took every generic assassin, revenge, gangster, action flick, and Paul, and just smashed them all together in a fairly generic kind of vibe. Basically, it's a story about a girl who's a student who's in love with her boyfriend, who happens to be a cop, and he wants to know why he's not been introduced to the parents. That's because the parents are basically accountants for 6 of the biggest crime bosses in Paris.
Oh.
And the one day that she's distanced herself from them because she doesn't agree with their lifestyle. And then the dad says happy birthday and deposits 2 million quid into her account. And
Oh.
she goes over to say, I don't want it. They bring out a cake and go, happy birthday. And as they're singing happy birthday, a bullet goes straight through his head and he goes face down into the cake. And everyone thinks that he's been assassinated based on the way he's been assassinated by this lady called the Fury, who is a sort of basically above everyone kind of enforcer for these 6 crime bosses. And the crime bosses all cover like one single slither of the crime pie, you know what I mean? One does drugs, one does scams on the street, one does prostitution, one does home robberies and invasions, and all that sort of thing. And then the girl goes into jail because nobody believes that she's completely innocent because she's got 2 million quid in her bank account. And after so many months in jail, because they can't make the thing stick, can't make the charges stick, basically she comes out and she goes looking for the Fury who killed her parents. And finds her in the first episode. And the Fury's like, it weren't me. And you can try and kill me, but you ain't very good at it, and you won't last very long, and proves it repeatedly. And or you can join me, help me out. We can find out which one of these crime bosses is fucking over the other 5, and and that's it really. The action which happens is typically that sort of action where you sit there going, now, is it something about me being English that I don't understand about a foreign language or a foreign ideology, or you know when you watch sort of Asian action movies, there's always doves and people eating toothpicks and they never run out of bullets. It's kind of a thing, isn't it?
Or toothpicks. Yeah.
Or toothpicks. Well, for example, so for example, in the French action thriller seems to have people who you think, by American standards, this lady's going to come out of jail. She's going to be fucking rock hard. She's been practicing. You keep getting montages of her punching concrete walls and all this kind of stuff. And within like 2 minutes, everyone knows that she's crap. And she's fucking it up basically in every which way. And you think, oh, you're not as good as, okay. You're a bit rubbish then. And there's a sequence in one episode where she has to break in on behest of the Fury, because the Fury is identifiable, into this, well, kind of a parallel to your horror store, but basically into a prostitution store, which looks a bit like Sainsbury's in Oxford Street. except
don't get many of them to a pound.
No, but every floor, the higher up you go, the sicker it becomes, is quote how it's quoted. And she has to break in, and she breaks in, and then it all goes horribly wrong again, and she's trying to escape from all these different assassins who are all trying to hunt her down. She can't fire a gun. She's no good at that. So what happens is she sets off a fire alarm, and everyone, while all these different pervs are running out of the building, which they all think is on fire, she runs into this room and finds someone in a tanuki costume, which is a big red panda, basically.
Oh,
in a red panda sort of like mascot costume, fucking someone in a panda costume, and she beats him up, nicks his costume, and you get this comical scene of her trying to escape from the police, dressed as this humongous, great big bloody red panda
with a big cock. No,
well, yeah, and you're just sort of like, what the fuck am I watching here? what? And it is so. There's this kind of weird sort of like it's got action in it, but not the action you expect, and comedy, but not the comedy you expect, and it's all kind of just again, I think it's just because I don't know the culture, or maybe there's little things sprinkled throughout that I don't quite get. But it's just like, I'm thinking, what on earth am I watching? But I can't stop watching it. So it must be doing something right. But it seems like so some of it's so generic and some of it's so weird and odd and just kind of not quite right. The whole thing is like, I kind of thought it was quite funny when her dad got the bullet in the head and went face down in the cake, and you just see the cake just sort of filling up with blood, and she's just sitting there going, what? And it's just bizarre. It's good, but and that's kind of my feeling about it. It's So yeah, that's Furies on Netflix. I tried to get tickets to see Dunk 2 Electric Sandy Boogaloo. Dunk 2 Sandy Toksvig. But yeah, I found that the only screening that I could get into in Bromley, on the biggest screen they had one seat, and that one seat was sat in like right sort of like in the centre, and anyone else would go, yeah, that's great, except for the fact that I'm not going to pay to sit right in the centre of 500 people for 3 hours and hope to God that there isn't some arsehole sitting behind me or in front of me or someone bloody getting bored and reading their phone.
Yeah.
So I bowed out on that. And next Wednesday, when I get my 9-day fortnight day off, I will probably go early morning to see it then. So I won't see it for at least another week. Because I was all up for it. I was like, yes, I better go see it. And then I looked on the thing and it's like sold out. Oh, one ticket. I will look. Oh, you can go fuck yourself. No, that was the end of it. So, yeah. So, yeah, that because I like Dune and I'm very keen to see the end of it because I feel like it's just one film. I just want to see the end of the film. But I don't want to sit there for 3 hours hoping the people in front, to the side, and behind me are not going to be dicks for 3 hours. Did you have any problem with that?
Again, it's that whole thing of people, reading their phones. I think it's it wasn't so bad because they kept the screens kind of dark. They didn't actually have them, bright lights or anything like that. So I still think personally, fuck off out of the cinema. I think all cinemas should be radio blocked. I really do. I think there should be scramblers in every single cinema. I'm sorry, people, but you can't be trusted anymore. You've had your chance. You've had all this time to learn to put the fucking things away. Don't read them in the middle because somebody will pick up. You're in a dark fucking room, okay? You put your bloody phone on. Eyes are going to be drawn straight to it.
Well, I used to be all right with the View in Bromley because the new View Cinema in Bromley is actually underground. It's actually, you have to go down 3 escalators to get to the level where the cinema is.
That's fine. That's great shielding. That's
exactly.
They should all have that Faraday cage. Make every single one of them a Faraday cage.
Well, exactly. But then what happened was, it was up till Nope came out, and I was like, oh, all right, cool, okay, fine. There's no one here, and then all of a sudden my phone just went, would you like to join the Cineworld Wi-Fi? And the View Wi-Fi, and it's like, oh, you put fucking Wi-Fi in here. Why?
Because
and they've actually
fucking stupid cunts.
They've actually installed. So now they've installed Wi-Fi. So it's like, so you had the perfect shielding. Don't come here if you don't want to watch the film. And then the silly arseholes actually went and put fucking Wi-Fi in it. It's like, oh, for goodness sake.
Nobody asked for you to be on fucking call. Why are you in a cinema if you're on call? Why is that? Why are you in a cinema at all if you're expecting a fucking, delicate call or anything? Stay the fuck out.
Exactly. As the person who tends to be most on call, Elton, would you go to the cinema when you're on call?
No,
see?
That is the way I get a call. I know. I guarantee you, as soon as I sit down or as soon as that movie starts, I will get a call. So my luck works that way. So I avoid it like the plague when I'm on
And
call.
the murderer is
Yeah.
I'm a mobile phone.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be like, yes. And I've got one last thing to tell you. It's it's like, fuck off.
But the whole point of this has been, I believe in miracles. Where you from? You sexy thing. Sexy thing, you.
Yeah. Bow, 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 bow. Anyway, yeah. So
we should sell a range of
really annoying
ringtones.
Yeah. Ringtones for cinema.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and you know what love means? Love means never having to be.
Oh yeah, let's bring back the fucking Crazy Frog. Let's do it.
Yeah, right in the middle of Madam Web. Anyway,
or Scatman.
Yeah, Dangerous Dave, surely.
Oh man, yes.
Say no, say no to drugs, no to drugs. Zip zap, zip it, zip zap. Fucking shut up, Dave. Anyway, I think that's the only song I can actually put on without having to copyright strike it in the notes. Now, Devastating Dave, the turntable slave. Even Spotify goes, what?
Who?
Who? Right. Do what? Anyway, so the only other thing I can tell you is that I nearly wasn't here this week because
Really?
I nearly died.
What do you mean you nearly died?
Well, sit down and gather round, children. There I was working away on Thursday this last week, and as sometimes happens, you know, work gets out of control, and you suddenly go, right, I've got to sit here, eat my lunch, and I'm plugging away, and I'm eating my lunch, and my mum, because I'm obviously my home office is now in my old parents' house,
Yeah.
and so mum came along and she went, oh, do you want a sandwich? Yeah, okay, fine, that'd be lovely. So she goes, comes back, cheese and pickle sandwich. Anyway, I'm eating away, and a little bit of a little bit of pickle falls in the keyboard.
Oh no!
So I think, well, okay, I can't have that because if I'm pressing around on the keyboard, that's going to get jammed up or gummed up, and I can't afford to have my keyboard out of action or sitting there trying to clean it for an hour. So I sort of try and get my little finger in there, and the pickle slides down between the H and the J keys. I'm thinking, fuck, okay, because I use the J key because it's locking angles when I do 3D. So I'm thinking, fuck, okay, right. So I try and get my pen. Nope, still not having it. I'm thinking, if only I had an air blower or something. I'm thinking, I haven't got an air blower. No, okay, fine. So then,
did you suck it out?
I did indeed. What I did was I lifted it up and I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go like that and suck it out. So I brought the keyboard up to my face and I went like that. But the problem was the pickle came out, but it didn't stop where I thought it would, which is on my tongue. It shot straight to the back of my throat, hit the punch bag at the back of my throat, and immediately evoked a gag reflex like I was having a heart attack. Mum comes in, and I'm going... She's like, what? I'm going... And I couldn't even... because it was like I was constantly in a gag
Type on the
reflex.
keypad. What's wrong?
I couldn't use the H and the J keys because they were covered in spit. And I was like, oh god! It took me a heart-stopping minute, and I thought, this is it. This is my comedy moment. This is how I die. I've literally killed myself by sucking a tiny square of pickled onion out of a keyboard. That will be on my headstone. Lee Metcalf died sucking off a keyboard. Yeah.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Wouldn't be the first time. Right between the H and the J. He wanted HJ, but instead he got a sucky and died. So yeah. So there you go. So I it was genuinely frightening because I tell you what, because it had actually stuck to the little punch bag on the back of my throat, I couldn't swallow to get rid of it, and I couldn't cough it off because it was on the wrong side of my esophagus. You know, I'm kind of blowing out sort of thing. So the punch bag was hitting the top of my mouth. So it was like I'm just sitting there having to jam fingers down my throat and flick it off. Have you ever tried flicking a piece of pickle off the back of your throat?
Oh my God!
And it's not pleasant. It's not pleasant. And then Mum comes in with a glass of water, and I'm just like, it's a bit late now, Mum. I'm fine now. I could have died. I could have thrown up everywhere. In fact, that would have made it worse, wouldn't it? Thrown up all over my keyboard.
Did she pat you on the back while you just?
Oh yeah,
struggling.
Oh yeah. You got the sort of like, you okay? And I'm like, do you need some water? You okay? I'll get you some water. Yeah.
That
All
was
of a
sudden
much...
you find yourself out your seat and your mum's doing like the Heimlich maneuver on you.
I mean, it was literally like the first 5 seconds of the chest burster scene. It was that kind of. It's like, well, I'm going to die from a little piece of pickle. I mean, this thing was literally about the size of it. It was like, well, I mean, it wasn't even the size of the end of a biro. I mean, it was tiny. It was tiny piece. I was informed afterwards that it was small chunks pickle. I was like, that didn't help. But
again, things you can say at lunch and also in the bedroom.
It's only small chunk pickle. It's only small chunks pickle. So anyway,
it's only pickle small chunk.
Who you calling small chunk, you dirty bastard. Anyway, so that's that. So that was my week. So remember, health and safety before you eat a cheese and pickle sandwich, ladies and gentlemen. Always health and safety with a cheese and pickle. Yeah, so that's that. I was going to say, have we got any feedback? There is a bit of feedback, but it's a little scripty thing from Martin Thompson, which kind of feeds into one other thing that I forgot about my week, which was I saw Michael Burke selling gold sovereigns of King Charles fucking a dragon. It was on telly.
Was it?
Yes. There's only 1,300 of these, and if they're not sold, the rest will be melted down, increasing the rarity of the ones you have. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was horseshit. I will try and read Martin's thing here. He said he wrote a script on the Facebook group, which is facebook.com/groups/the Black Door Podcast. I will try and do its justice. And it's in relation to the coin. And he said, hey, I've got a guy who might like a coin. Who? The guy who runs that Hypno Something podcast. Do you think he can hypnotize others into buying a coin? No. Well, that's good. It's good. Well, no. Well, good thought. We'll put that on the back burner for now. But he's done all these podcasts about Hammer, so he's familiar about the coin-making process. Sounds ideal. Sir, do you know what a cushion is? Oh, it must be the way they cushion it all together? Never heard of it. It's real. Look it up. And who's this Christopher Lee? Well, I think he's a middle manager in Bermondsey. Why? Well, no reason. But you might want to send the ad to this profile of the coin or of the dragon fucking coin or the dragon fucking coin. It's always the dragon fucking coin with you, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
And that and scene. There you go. It's always the dragon fucking coin. I tell you what, if that would be our new podcast name. If we could do it. The dragon fucking coin. But anyway, yes, we didn't have an awful lot of feedback on Studio 666. I'll be honest with you. To be honest. It kind of, people just went, yeah, that's a thing. It happened. I did also put up a small video from my Helldivers from my Helldivers experience after the podcast, where I ran out and I found out what a nuke does, and it made a very large explosion. But that's just me. I was quite pleased about that. Oh, and the other thing was when taking a Pelham 123 vanished into the fucking ether. Thank you to everyone who stepped forward trying to make suggestions for what we could do about Pelham 123 on the Facebook group, like Andy Plastides, who suggested that maybe we could find it somewhere. Not saying where, just
Shock
saying maybe
horror.
we could find it somewhere. I will not incriminate him further by saying that. And John Campion, who said the Delirious Hassau is on archive.org. And I I think we need a bit more time for running up at that one, that movie. But thank you, John. That's going to go on the docket, not too far distant future. But yes, there you go. And because I picked a good film and then it disappeared, Jeffrey Mark Hyman actually said no good deed goes unpunished.
Yes.
Yes, because, I was that close to going for a bad one in a panic when we found out it wasn't available. It's like, fuck, okay, gonna pull the trigger on my bad one. But no, we didn't. Instead,
They go for that.
Instead, we did indeed pick a film, which is Hell or High Water. It's on Netflix, and we shall review it after these messages, or this jingle, he says, pointing on a podcast, which really doesn't work, but, go with it. Roll the jingle. Right, so Hell or High Water, not picked at the last minute, honest gov, is a 2016 American neo-western crime drama directed by David Mackenzie and written by Taylor Sheridan. It follows two brothers, Chris Pine and Ben Foster, who carry out a series of bank robberies to save the family ranch, while they're being pursued by two Texas Rangers, Jeff Bridges and Gil Birmingham. It was the final film produced by Odd Lot Entertainment before it was dissolved in 2015. Didn't even know it existed before then, but there you go. It premiered at Cannes, May 16th, 2016, and then came out at the cinema August 12th, 2016. And I won't say any more than that in case it influences what you say in your reviews. It had a budget of $12 million. How much do you think it made at the box office, Elton?
1 million bottle caps strewn across the whole of Texas.
Nice. What do you think, Jim?
20 million buried cars.
Nice. Otherwise known as the We Buy Any Car backlot. What about you, Dal?
Yeah, I think it made about 50 T-bone steaks and all the stuff you don't want off the menu.
Yeah, I definitely don't want green beans. Definitely don't want green beans. Well, you're right. It actually made green beans. No, it made a box office of 37.9 million, so it doubled its money. Well, it tripled its money basically. So that's good. So it made bank, but doesn't obviously need a sequel. Thank fuck. So there you go. So we'll go around the table and see what everyone thought about this film. And I'll go last because it was my pick. So let's go with you, Elton. What did you think?
I really enjoyed this.
Mm-hmm.
It is, I think this is my type of movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, damn, I'm blanking on the name, so I'll think about it in a second.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like a sequel to one of my favourite movies, which is No Country for Old Men. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just got that. It's fast when it needs to be fast. It's slow when it needs to be slow.
Mm.
And it's when it is, it's just talking sometimes, and I love that.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need bullets going off all over the place. So I really did enjoy this. I thought it was really, really good. I had never heard of it before either.
Mm.
And I am shocked,
Mm.
stunned, if you may,
Mhm.
at Chris Pine on how good he was.
Mm.
Because I've never really rated him or anything like that.
Mm.
I'll be honest, I haven't seen him in much.
Ah.
But watching him in this, yeah, it was
Mm.
it was good. I think they were all good, but he was really good.
Cool. Okie dokie. And what about you? I'm going to go to you, Darren. What about you,
Yeah.
mate?
I enjoyed it.
Mhm.
I have an opinion on most of the characters in
Mhm.
this.
Mhm.
A one-worded opinion,
Mhm.
but I'll get to that later.
Okay.
Yeah,
But overall, liked it.
yeah. I thought it was really well done. Again, you know, I liked all of them in it.
Cool.
I thought they all did really good performances. You know, good solid film. This.
Cool. Jim.
Well, first time watch for me, I had no idea what I was getting into.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a really good time with this movie. I thought it had a nice mix of comedy, drama, beautifully shot, great performances,
Mm-hmm.
and more than a few surprises, which we'll get to later, if you know,
Mm-hmm.
in where you actually all end up, and in particularly how it all turns out, as it were, in the end.
Yeah.
And I kind of quite like it was kind of like a bit of a no breaks movie. Because it's kind of, I don't know where you're going to go with this next week.
Yeah.
Because you're not sat in a certain recognizable, plot that I've seen before.
Mm.
And I really, really like that. And I kind of like movies where you do have serious drama, but also some humor and some action. And you get a good blend of stuff, just like life.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I this has been on my watch list for a long while. And like I say, when Pelham sort of vanished off the map, I was like, oh shit. And then I sort of saw this and I thought, Western, and I'm thinking modern Western. But I actually thought, you know what, for a film that I was kind of, Darren's vanished. Here he is. He's back again.
And I'm back again.
And he's back in the room. Yeah, I was kind of sitting there, kind of going, I'm not sure about this, whether or not this is a good idea for a movie. For one of our watches, simply because of the length, the running time. I knew it'd be a bit more evenly paced, and then I thought, fuck it, and I watched it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'll be honest with you, it reminded me, like you, Elton, it reminded me of No Country for Old Men. It had a lot of the melancholy of things like Unforgiven, and those, and a film called Lone Star. Have you seen that? No, I don't suppose you have. I don't know. But anyway, I really enjoyed it. I did, and yes, I was pleasantly surprised, because when you see these things, when people go, it's underrated, and not many people speak about it, you kind of go, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Is that for a reason, really?
Normally a reason behind that, isn't there?
Yeah, all the critics liked it, but the audience didn't, a sort of thing. And I was pleasantly surprised, and I'm glad I picked it, regardless of the circumstances in which I picked it. So there you go. Right, well, let's get into it. As ever, it's spoiler zone-tastic. We obviously don't want you to be spoiled. So if you haven't seen this film and you're thinking about seeing this film, go right ahead and stop the podcast and go. You've heard our thoughts. Go off and watch it yourself, and then come right back. Or you can carry on listening and, spoilers beware, because I'm sure we'll get into a few. So, yeah, here comes the spoiler warning. I'm just going to randomly press on the buttons. You know what happens. If you're still listening after this bit, then you've got nothing to blame but yourself. So here we go.
Baby, baby!
Potatoes!
That'll do.
Money plane.
Thank you. So here we are in the spoiler zone. That was a lot quicker than I thought. I pressed just a couple of random buttons and I'm thinking, oh shit, That should have been longer. There you go. There you go. Now you're definitely in the spoiler zone. So,
Nice.
right, here we are. Where do we begin, I suppose? I mean, it's sold as a heist movie. Is it really a heist movie?
Well, heist movie normally implicate sort of like, it normally means like one big planned heist, whereas this one is like lots of heists all kind of slapped together in the same film.
I wouldn't even say heists, though.
No?
Yeah. Actually, you know what?
I would say a heist would be a pre-planned, predetermined, thought-out robbery.
Yeah. The reason I ask is because that's kind of its kind of plot, but that's not its theme, is it? Really? What do you think it's really about? Or is that jumping in too early?
No, let's do this.
Are we
Let's
jumping
do
in?
this.
Are we jumping in the pool at the deep end rather than walking in from the shallow end? Going, do you like the characters?
Well, I think it sums it up in one line from Jeff Bridges at the end: "The things we do for our children, eh?" And I think that is it. It is, what would you do for family in the light of a struggle? How far would you go for this? You know? And obviously there are some people who appreciate the struggle. They know they've got to get this done, but they don't like what they have to do. And there are others who take far too much joy in having to perform some of those unsavoury tasks.
Who would you possibly be referring
Who could
to?
I possibly be referring to? This is the thing with this film, really. When it comes to characters, it's got very few actual sympathetic characters in it. It's got, most of them have got a real shitty attitude, especially things like waitresses in restaurants who say, "What don't you want off the menu?" I want to turn around and go fuck yourself, and I would have gone somewhere else. That's it. We're going to McDonald's. We're off. But it's about 50 miles away. Yeah, I'd rather drive. Thanks. Yes, let's do it.
Okay.
Even the brother as well. I had a real
Ben
disliking.
Foster.
Yeah, Ben Foster's character. I had a real disliking for his character about a minute or so into the film, and it was when it was the way he treated the woman in the bank, the first one that they go for. Yeah. And you could see he was taking far too much pleasure in this sort of power play. You know, that's it. Tell me I'm stupid one more time. It's like, oh, you're fucking big and brave. You are, aren't you? Yeah, of course. Yep. I can see that she's a combat specialist, and you're going to have a real fair fight in this one, mate. And plus, you're holding a gun. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Darren wasn't a fan of the Ben Foster character. I mean, what about you guys? I mean, was the characters were you invested in the characters, or what were you kind of where were you sitting with those guys?
Well, I think the film plays a good game of messing with your loyalties. Because on one hand, I think, the Ben Foster character is kind of, he's an ass, isn't he? He's a bit loose cannon.
Yeah.
And you see Chris Pine's character is kind of, he's in this, but he's got a purpose. You know what I mean? This is kind of, this is for his family. This is to, make things right. This is sticking one to the bank. Fair enough.
Yep.
However, on the flip side, you have Jeff Bridges. And while you're in the car with the boys, you think, I do kind of want Chris Pine to get away with this.
Yeah.
But you go to Jeff Bridges, you go, I really want him to catch them guys.
Yeah.
But you also you get to a point at the end where your loyalties get really pulled, I think.
Mm.
From when, I mean, I'm not really superstitious, but I have two things I'm superstitious about.
Mm-hmm.
One, don't tempt fate, and the second one, if you have a plan, stick to the plan.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now, if the plan starts to go wrong, walk away.
Mm.
What you never ever do is have a plan, then go, hang on, why don't we just suddenly do this and do something entirely different? Because that is always a ticket to hell. That spur of the moment, let's junk the plan and suddenly do this. No. And when they do that and they go for the big bank at the end, and there's too many people, it's too busy, and it all goes tits up and people die, that's when kind of, actually... might
Do
play
the
the
ends...
fuck you Joker here.
Yeah.
But also it sets up kind of right. How are you going to end this now? Right, clever boy. Come on, right now. You really messed with me. You pulled my loyalties this way and that. But now, how would you tie this up? If Chris Pine gets to walk away scot free, I'm not going to be entirely on board with that.
Interesting.
But I think it does actually pull that off in a way that I think the word was, well, my word for the how it all ends is just, that is so elegant.
Yeah.
Understated, quiet, elegant. And the more you think about it, the better it is.
Yeah. What about you, Elton? How do you feel about that?
Well, I just want to go on the themes first off.
Yeah, sure.
I think it's more about either ownership or people with their foot on your neck. And a bit of racism just thrown in there as well.
just a bit.
just a drizzle.
It was subtle. I barely noticed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you have the family who are fighting against the bank and then robbing the banks and then paying the banks back with the money that they've robbed. There's something poetic about that. I like the way that they kind of launder that money as well. That's a great idea on doing that.
Yeah.
That's a very, very good idea. I hadn't even thought about that. Grabbing all the money, taking it to the casino, playing a couple of games of cards and cashing your chips in again. That's just a brilliant way of doing it. I think it's more about them sort of themes than anything. I agree. Yeah, it is about you'll do anything for your kids and your family. But there's a lot of talk about the Indians, because they're referred as Indians, so Native Americans or Indians or whatever.
He calls
I don't
them
know.
Injuns.
Yeah. There's a lot of backlash towards that. Bridges' character is a fucking arsehole sometimes. Absolute fucking arsehole. He's the guy at work who just does it for laughs. Oh, I'm only pulling your leg. Fuck off, mate. You're pushing it way too far.
It's Bance, isn't it? That's the thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's Bance until he gets a fucking brick in his face.
Yeah. Yeah. Because,
that really... Because I sat down and watched this twice, and the second time round, it really just hit home so much more.
Yeah.
Like, shut the fuck up. And especially when they're in... When the two, like the sheriffs are in the hotel room and they're sat there, one of them's on the bed, like fed up, like, fuck off, get out my room, go to your room and watch the match if you want to watch that. I want to watch my God channel. Leave me alone. And he doesn't, and he rolls over and he says, isn't it about time you get to yours? And Bridges picks up his beer, sloshes it around. You're like, you disgusting little bastard. And then throws the bottle cap at him. You're like, it's just another little bit of Bance. It's just the last word, innit?
Yeah.
And you're like, God damn it, where's my revolver? I put three lugs into you.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of feeds back into what Jim was saying about the sort of like your loyalties kind of bing bang between the two. Because I mean, I have to say, the Bance such as it was. Initially, I thought, oh, we know where we are with this. You know, it's kind of the old hand and the other guy who just puts up with him because he's good at what he does. And Alberto puts up with what he does. But as it goes on, you just think, no, actually, he's a grizzled old fuck and he's a racist dick. and he's such a knob all the way through it. And so but then you do see that it's quote unquote his version of Bantz when Alberto catches one in the eye, and it's just like, and he gets really upset about it, and it's like suddenly it's like, oh, so he did like Alberto, did he? Did he really like Alberto? You know, no, that sort of thing. But
I had never any question about him not liking him because it is the Bantz. I don't think you would do that with. Or you might do it with someone you don't like. But I think it'd be a lot more vicious. It was so softly done that you could get away turning around and say, oh, look, I'm kidding, I'm pulling your leg. I won't say it again. And get away with it.
But I think it also ties into the themes all the way of people in power using masking joviality to basically be mean. Or to get their own way, because the big theme. Because I said this to Carol when we finished watching it. I said this is the Texan version of Bayek's Grim Up North. You know, it's kind of like, you know, everything. You know, it's like Boys from the Black stuff. You know, everything's run down. Everyone's running out of money. Everyone's fighting for jobs. You know, everyone's fighting for work. Everyone's
only a car on the road as well.
Yeah, barely a car on the road. The whole place is desolate and demolished and gone and run down and
you do see a couple of times posters with debt relief.
It's all the way through. It's like it's like loans, debt relief, and it's like a running commentary. The billboards in itself. The billboards are almost like a kind of like a Greek chorus.
Yeah, pretty much
very much reflecting. You know. There are some for like luxury products. They're all old and knackered and shot to shit occasionally.
Yeah, especially like the "Please drive safe" and it's got bullet holes in it. But it's things like that. It's that kind of, you know, the banks are putting on a smiley face, but actually ripping off Chris Pine and Ben Foster's dying mother. You know, and they are doing it because the oil companies want the land, so they're trying to, you know, and it's just like the whole film is about a stack of people behind other people putting the shit on other people down the tree. Yep. It's just rolling downhill, and in the two cars you got Jeff Bridges and Gil Birmingham, sort of like having this same thing because he's like, you know, on the one hand, he's kind of, you know, there's Jeff Bridges going, oh, yeah, you know, the banks take everything from everybody sort of thing. And then there's, you know, there's Alfonso going, yeah, and you took everything from us. You know, you just used an army. Now they're using paperwork. You know, what's the difference? And that, to me, was the bigger picture. The heist was just kind of almost a symptom of the thing,
very much so.
You're sort of sitting there going, oh, you know, this is the main theme. Actually, no, this is just us watching another part of the bigger story playing out, which is the banks are fucking over people. And
if they hadn't have screwed them over in the very beginning, then there wouldn't be any need for the robberies at all.
Exactly. And it's that victimhood thing as well, isn't it? It's like the banks are going, oh no, people are robbing us.
Yeah, who's the biggest crook?
Yeah, exactly. Which is kind of interesting because then it turns into that whole thing of, you know, people so desperate for money and so desperate, so hating the banks that they actually didn't care that the people were being robbed. Well,
yeah, there's a couple of comments made by a couple of the bystanders. I think when Bridges gets walks up to the first bank, someone pulls up with the trailer and says about someone robbing the bank, and I forget what he says.
Mm.
Something about a noose, and you won't be able to find the tree.
Mm.
And then he's like, "Oh, love this place."
Yeah, but then you've got the three old guys in the in the restaurant, aren't they? Doing the well, they fucked over the bank who fucked over us. So so what? I've got no way of identifying these people. Even though they were sitting literally across the table from them.
But then they go to the other extreme where every fucking person there has got a gun and wants to bring them down. Once they rob that bank. Of course, it is extremely funny watching them all turn to tail and run away when he pulls out the automatic weapon.
Yeah, exactly. That's another thing, isn't it? It's like, is there the myth of the Old West throughout? It's all cowboys and Indians, isn't it? Pardon the racist old slurs now, but but that's it, isn't it? It's like
it's all fun and games until someone loses an eye.
Exactly, or someone pulls an automatic rifle out at an intersection.
That's right.
But
it
anyway,
does expose that sort of myth of the Robin Hood robber. Kind of, well, actually, he gives that waitress the big tip, and he has that flash to pointing them at the cashier, and that's him paying his conscience.
Yeah.
But then, later on, though, it is kind of the myth of a good guy with a gun can save the day. No, he got himself killed.
Yeah, exactly.
And that security guard was a fucking dick as well.
Yeah, that's it.
They were it was obvious what they were doing. You should have fucking just stayed the fuck down, let them take the loose change, and fuck off.
Yep.
Because there's like 24 people on the floor. You want to play Dirty Harry, but it's not fair on them. They're going to get hit. There'll be collateral damage when you fucking kick off, dickhead.
He goes waddling out like a mental penguin in the middle of the bank and gets 4 bullets into him. Jeez.
But again, it's that whole thing of these people are dying for the bank.
The bank doesn't give 2 fucking hoots.
No, exactly.
The bank ain't paying you nearly enough to take bullets.
And that's what Jeff Bridges says right at the beginning. He says, "Oh, they're taking the small notes. They're being clever because it's insurance money. The bank won't notice and won't kick up a stink. That's why they're not taking 100 notes and stuff that can be
the
traced."
FBI don't want to know.
Exactly.
It's not big enough amount.
Exactly. Yeah. So there you go. What about the characters? I mean, Darren, you touched upon Ben Foster, and Jim, you've already said your things are waving back. Your loyalty's waving backwards, forwards. But what do you think, Dal? I mean, what do you think of them? Who are you rooting for? Huh?
Well, I was. Chris Pine. Chris Pine's character. Yep. Alfonso. Yes. Very much so. Just because of the shit he has to put up with. And going on what I've said about Ben Foster's character, his character kind of falls into one of the sort of the ways that abuse victims can go. You can either get, there are various ways, but two that stand out is you can either have someone that goes through a lot of abuse and manages to not fall into the trap of becoming like their abuser, or you can be the Ben Foster character who's been so fucked up by what this boyfriend, I think it was, or the father was like, the violence, but you sort of like, not that he's doing it, he's actually made himself deliberately this. It's actually had an effect on him where subconsciously it's an acceptable thing to be like that. And that's what happens in abusive relationships if they go on for so long. It's like, I don't even call it Stockholm syndrome of the sort, but it is that where it's accepted, and deep down something a switch is flipped where that violence, even though subconsciously that it's okay for them to do that, that's how they feel. It's I'm definitely not putting this right, but it's even though they weren't like that to begin with, being put through that trauma turns them that way. It kind of, not every single, like I say, not every single survivor of abuse is like that at all. It's a real, you can never tell which way it's going to go. Of course, this is a totally random thing. Various, criteria get filled along the way. There's things that happen, and it's a real flip of the coin as to, how that person is going to turn out after that. And I think you can see the two, exactly what I mean in the brothers. You've got Chris Pine's character who is not reveling in the violence.
Yeah.
Right. Even when the blokes start firing, he runs and hides around a corner. He never actually shoots anyone. Right. He waves a gun around a lot.
No, he shot at the table when it all went to shit in the post, but he never actually shot anyone.
Exactly. Right. So he never fires. Right. It's like for him, he's hiding behind that to get the job done, hoping everybody just sees the gun and just lays on the floor and doesn't want to get involved. But the brother, is looking. I don't know. It's that whole thing of looking for violence. Like when he's in the casino, and the bloke says to him, "Do you know what Comanche means?" And he says, enemy of everyone. And so Ben Foster goes, "Well, in that case, I'm a Comanche as well." And then he just stands there and stares the bloke down. And then the guy backs away. It's that, he's not, he would, it's that whole thing of him actually not being disturbed by the violence.
He's the live wire, isn't he?
Yeah.
He is. He's the one that is quite happy to enact violence. Maybe it's because he's the one that shot his dad and he crosses that line. And because of that, maybe that's the thing that finally broke him and made him like this.
And he spent how long in jail? 20-odd years or whatever it was for shooting his dad?
Yeah. And, of course, in some prisons, they're not exactly the, shall we say, as much as they're supposed to be, as they call them, correctional facilities, the people you meet in these places, you mix with them. Yeah, who knows where that's going to take you.
Yeah. I mean, it does come down. I mean, that's kind of one of the big themes, isn't it? Abuse and how it affects people.
Yeah.
How I suppose you can just nail it down to environment, can't you? It's what the environment does to people. It's like the desperation.
Yeah, it's a whole set of dominoes that fall over. One thing, one thing leads to another, and it's what do you do in a situation like that? I mean, I suppose it says a lot about you. How you, not the situation you're in, but how you handle that situation, how you roll with it. And I don't think anybody goes out to look to turn out the way that, like
they
character
do.
like Ben Foster's character is. I don't think he ever asked to be like that, but it's that whole set of circumstances has played that way to him, and this is the side of the coin that he's fallen on, unfortunately.
Yeah.
There are a lot of products of the environment in this film.
Yeah.
These two brothers are such as well. I would say the Bridges and what's his name? Birmingham. They are products of their environment. The way they handle abused and the abuser type thing. He's not saying anything and he just continues and won't shut the fuck up.
Yep.
Also, we get two little scenes. Obviously, the waitress is a product of her environment. She's got so used to giving the same thing that any deviation from the menu that she gives to everyone is met with an insult.
Yeah.
You will have iced tea because I serve that to everyone. It's
Mm.
not a case of we have this on the menu. I'm bringing you this, and if you don't like it, you can clear off because I ain't doing any other work for anyone else.
Yeah.
And then you have the guys that, which is a really weird scene. The guys that rock up at the gas station
Mm.
in their big green car, and they're just kids, aren't they? But they're loudmouth, they're raucous. Everyone's got a bloody gun,
Mm.
and the way that you
Do you know
kind
what?
of wave your knob around is get your gun out and then get taken out
There's a
beautifully.
phrase. There was something that Mike Tyson said, and I heard this a little while ago, and it's this one thing. Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is exactly what happens. But I mean, in a way, and not that violence is any way to go, but Chris Pine's actions could actually, I don't know, maybe that would have an effect on turning the kid the other way. Because if nobody stands up to somebody like that and shows them how wrong their actions is, you know,
Yeah.
they just get worse and worse and
Yeah.
worse.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe he's turned him from a certain path. Now that he's had that, and it's like, oh fucking hell, I'm not so tough.
But
And
would
this
it,
really isn't for me. You never know. I'm not saying it would, but there's a possible outcome. Again, the environment affecting someone.
Mm.
Who knows?
Like the lady
where
that took the tip as well and refused to give it up.
Yeah.
Because she needs to pay her mortgage.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? That's that bit with the tip. I mean, I'll get to the guys with the car in a second, but the lady with the tip, that goes back to the poverty thing. That goes back to the people on the breadline doing what they can to survive, and where the rule of law breaks down because it's $200. It's my $200. What are you going to do with it? You're just going to take it away and keep it as evidence. Well, it's going to be better used for me, and all I'm going to help you do is catch someone who robbed a bank. So, fuck the banks, and that fuck the banks, fuck corporate America kind of attitude runs right through this whole film like a stick of rock, and so, and when it comes back to the kids and the violence and stuff, and the kids in that green car, it's poverty, it's boredom. They're the only people with a brand spanky new car, so it's entitlement. It's these rich arseholes just rocking up in this brand spanky new green car, thinking that they can just bully people around.
It's as I say, it's a set of people who were never told no enough when they were younger. And they go through life with people just saying yes to them. And this is the sort of product you get.
Yeah, but they're almost the product. They're almost a representation of, of the rich people sort of rolling through, just doing their thing and thinking they can get away with it because they're rich. Because he has all new clothes. He has a shiny gun. He has this bright green fucking monster car Mustang thing. And then along comes the poor bloke who's got nothing to lose, and just puts him down with a fucking couple of punches, and it's just like, never.
Going, he was asking for it. He was asking for it. He was asking for it.
Yeah,
he had it coming. He had it coming.
I love the dent in the door that he gets as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a nice detail.
So so a lot of that is kind of that whole scene is that kind of is really, it's more than anything. I think it's symbolic. It's just there to kind of hammer home the themes. Rich people think they can do fucking anything because they think they've got the means and everything to do it. But when people are desperate and when people need to just, people can only take so much before finally, you know what, fuck off, and the worm turns sort of thing. Sorry. Anyway, so I was going to say with the old lady, you mentioned the one who does the what don't you want?
Yeah.
the one thing, did anyone notice, was that there was no one else in that cafe. Yeah, there was no one else in that coffee shop or cafe or restaurant or whatever it was. And then when you see Alfonso and Matthew leave, the Jeff Bridges and Gil Birmingham leave, they leave, and she literally locks up and leaves.
Yes,
Did you notice
see her walk across the road.
See her walk across the road and leave, and it's like, so she was only there because they were there.
Yeah.
And again, it's that whole thing of, if she didn't have to do it, she wouldn't. There was no reason for her to be there. This town is dead, absolutely dead, except for the bank. And that was kind of the interesting thing all the way through. The banks.
Well, she was heading over to the bank as well, so she's probably taking her takings over there. That bank is just hoovering up everything in every single town, and you see them try to rob that other one that's shut down, like turning up at the branch and going, "Oh, it's fucking moved. It's a B Jam now, is it? Okay, great."
Yeah,
fucking B Jam.
B Jam, fucking hell. Oh God! Yeah, I was going to say no, and then that's another joke that not a lot of people will get.
Yeah, can I just say that is not a B Jam is not something that will be produced by a fucking Thingy Dave, the turntable slave. This is what Iceland was before it was Iceland. B Jams.
And Iceland we're referring to is the shop selling frozen foods, not the volcanic continent slightly north of Scotland. I say slightly north; it's still a good 2 hours flight.
But that closed bank is indicative of that run-down town. It sucks that town dry to the point where it's like, well, there's no more money coming in here. We'll shut this bank down and we'll move on.
Yeah, that is it, isn't it? It's like it did exactly what it needed to do. It got all the money and then it fucked off. Yeah.
Cycle of keeping the poor poor and the rich even richer.
Yeah, and that cycle goes right through to the casinos, because they're in a massive belt of poverty in that area, and the only thing that's got bright lights and everyone goes to is the fucking casino. It's like luring everyone in, hoovering up money. It's just like that's the big thing, isn't it? It's corporate America. It's big money making industries sucking the last drops of life out of every area, which is why the whole place is represented as deserts. Go on.
There's probably a bit of a wrinkle there, though, because a lot of states' casinos are very, very regulated. In fact, a lot of states don't allow them at all. But First Nation people can run a casino through a loophole. And the casino they're in is a First Nation casino. So,
what does that mean? Sorry.
Native American. I think First Nation is now.
Oh, sorry. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Right.
So basically, they're actually getting a slice of the action back. It's the one way they can.
Right.
And no one can compete either in a lot of states.
Yeah.
Because literally, it's to do with the terms of the reservations. They have their own laws, so they can run casinos, so that everyone else in the state can't.
I didn't pick up on that at all, and now I've just while we're talking, I've literally just Googled up Native American casinos in Oklahoma, because that's where they drove to, wasn't it? In Oklahoma, and there is, and it says here. 33 tribes of Native Americans operate 143 casinos and gambling centers across 50 Oklahoma counties. There you go. So
Come, white men, bring your money.
Exactly. Yeah. These 143 gambling locations include Class 3 casinos with Vegas-style gambling, Class 2 casinos with no bank or electronic gambling, and travel plazas with slot machines and smoking shops with gaming. Yeah, so scam games and that sort of thing.
You know what?
Yeah.
So, do you notice something else about the actual way they run that casino
Mm.
as well. Another way of drawing people and get as much money as possible.
Mm.
They don't ask questions about where the money comes from.
Yeah.
They just do it. They just run it through this system.
Well, there's that very small clip where he apologizes. Toby apologizes for bringing in all the banknotes,
Mm.
and she's like, "Well, that's all right. I don't care." It's like, "No, I just sold my car. No, that's all right. I don't care. It doesn't matter." Straight into the counter and turned into chips.
Exactly.
Yep.
Money's money, and that's the beauty of the whole thing about picking up the small bills because it wasn't going to be tracked by the bank. So that was really clever. I mean, I think the basics behind the heist was very clever. It's just, every heist movie from Reservoir Dogs to fucking Heat has got the wild card who goes Looney Tunes, and to me that was kind of the weakest point in the movie, was the Ben Foster character being that I'm crazy and everything's going to go wrong because I keep doing things off the reservation, pardon the pun. Sorry, Dal, yeah? Go on. What?
It might not have been so crazy. It might have been, I don't know, it gets to a point where, even though he does these acts of violence, maybe he's tired of that, and he sees going down in a blaze of glory as his only way out, because he's not good at anything else. He never has been.
Well, there's a fair amount of planning. I mean, he knows, I think, that for the plan to work, he has to sacrifice himself. Or that's a liable possibility and he can't be taken alive.
There's that thing of him being very invested in his brother's happiness with his family, like his sons and that. Where he goes, go see them. We'll take a day out. You go see them. And in a way, he's like, he realizes his brother is, he thinks his brother is a better person than him, and that it's, I'm gonna give him the chance to have that life, to go off and treat his kids well, because I feel like I'm a lost cause, but this is the one thing I can do that, to give back to him. This gift I can give him to help him out.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, he's got all the gear for that last stand. Like, you see he has the case, but you don't know it's that huge monster of an automatic. But, he has a plan to go up the hill and then, release the truck and back it down onto them. Now, when it gets to that point, he had the option. He could have disappeared over that damn hill. He left a rifle and a pair of sunglasses, just perched on a rock, so it looks like he's crouched up there, down the other, away on his toes, down the other side of that hill into open country. No one knows who he is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You could, just like Kaiser Sose, and he was gone.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. He chooses to stay.
Yeah. He gives his brother a way out.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, because even though, I have to say, for all of its bright, desolate sunshine and glitzy lights of the casinos and everything, it's a very dour movie. It's a very bleak and gloomy movie, isn't it?
Do you know, I think what emphasises that is the heavy cello that they use in the soundtrack as well. That sort of baroque sort of sound, because that's always got that about it.
Well, that was Nick Cave and Warren Ellis, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it was never going to be the most cheerful of soundtracks, was it?
Yeah. That's a joyful studio, isn't it?
Yeah, that was buzzing with fizzy Kylie energy. That wasn't it?
You brought your cello, did you? Yes. It's only got one string, and it just goes.
Well, I'm looking. You brought your cello, but I'm not sure that's going to go too well with the string of hits we've got. Recovering by Kylie Minogue. Whatever floats your boat, I suppose.
What about you, Warren? What have you got on your synth? I've got this key.
I've got A minor.
Yeah, all the keys are broken except for that one. Oh shit! We haven't got time. We've got to get it done. We haven't got time to go back and get another keyboard. So
I've got a new toy though. It's an apprehension engine, and it sounds wonderful.
Apprehension engine. Wow, that does sound like something you'd be reviewing in a couple of weeks' time, Jim, on your podcast. The apprehension engine.
Yeah. How did you make this sound? Well.
But anyway, yeah. So it was quite a gloomy film, but that actually the Ben Foster character stopped being the generic wild card and became the sort of like redeemed by his actions.
I do love that bit where they're in the hotel room and Chris Pine's got his coat over his ears and you just see blood in the background.
Yeah. Oh, why not?
Well, I have to be honest. I found that a bit awkward. That scene.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. It did kind of like, but it did in some ways, it did kind of highlight the difference between the two brothers. Not just that he would quite happily shag the receptionist and somehow managed it just by picking up his ticket, but the fact that the Chris Pine character just lets it happen. He's so just. I don't know.
Not the first time. I've been sharing a room for you for the last 20 years.
Yeah, we're going back to Studio 666, aren't we? It sounds like you're trying to beat a jelly to death in there. No. But no, it was more to do with the fact that you know Ben Foster's characters like take every moment, as it comes and just, well, hey, I'm in for a penny, in for a pound, live in the moment kind of thing. And then there's Chris Pine with kind of eyes on the prize that just look, just fuck it, whatever. I'm going to be as submissive as I can. Just just go to your happy place, sort of thing all the way through. He didn't feel very proactive, old Chris Pine, until the last sort of act with it all turning to shit. But anyway, how did we feel about the ambiguous ending? Did anyone truly get away with anything? To quote the movie, nobody gets away with anything.
I don't do. I mean, as I said, I thought the ending was very, very elegant. Because it's just that last exchange where Chris Pine says, you could maybe stop, by mine. And I can fill in the rest of the blanks, and I can be done with this. So I'm ready to be done with this. And that's the point where Jeff Bridges goes, you know what? No. I could do that. I could hear your confession, then run you downtown, and you could go to serve your time. But you'll have a kind of peace doing that, because that's the kind of man you are. You're the man who accepts his punishment as a penance. You're not a criminal. It's not just going to be a hiatus in your criminal career or an occupational hazard. You actually will genuinely do your time and feel you're working. You feel you're absolving yourself for what you've done by doing your time. I'm not going to give you that. I'm going to walk away. I know how heavy that's going to weigh on you.
Yeah.
Somebody else, you'd run him in like a shot that's given a chance.
Yeah.
But for Chris Pine's character, because he understands what kind of man he is, he's kind of, no, your sentence is forever hanging over. You know what I mean? He's kind of, I'm not going to give you a chance to work your piece with it or to pay the price, because that is how he works. I mean, he gives that whether it's the big tip, and that is him paying his conscience.
Yeah,
and he would do his time as the price to be paid. But this way, he will be actually punished.
Yeah, well, that's the quote, isn't it? I this sort of like, maybe I'll come by. Well, maybe you will, but I'll give you peace, or maybe I'll give you yours.
Do you think the second robbery where they took the man's gun and put it on the counter next to him? Do you reckon part of that is coming with peace, as maybe he put it on the counter, so, do you know what? If he turns around and blows me away, oh well, it's done. I know his mission isn't complete at that point, but it could be a hint of that.
I think that's an indicator of his naivety of what's going on and what needs to be done.
Right.
That's that for me, because Chris Pine's character, he's smart, but he hasn't got street smarts, if you catch my drift.
I'd go with that, because the old guy coming out and taking pot shots at them, that's kind of foreshadowing how things are going to go badly tits up later.
Yeah.
After, you are in Texas. And,
yeah.
People are allowed to carry concealed weapons with a paper-thin permit. And, the longer you keep robbing banks, the more likely, you're going to have a go hero.
Yeah.
We'll be firing maybe some high-caliber weapons in your direction.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. I think that's kind of another theme that's kind of strung throughout the film, which is there's a theme, a naivety, which is kind of like people go to the, let's go back to the bank thing, but, people go to the banks, expect them to, treat you fairly, because you're giving them your money and you're trusting them to give you the money back and all this kind of thing. And Chris Pine's character is naive. He thinks he can just run into the banks, grab the cheap seats, grab the small bills, fuck off out. Nobody has to get hurt. But what happens is all the tellers are all traumatized, and he hasn't hurt the bank. All he's done is hurt the people, and he doesn't realize that. And putting the gun down by the side of the old guy is like, honor amongst thieves or whatever he wants to think about it. But he puts it down thinking, people are inherently good. They'll see what's going on. They won't attack me. Why would they attack me? Why would they get involved? And, yep, there you go, wallop. And, starts shooting at him. And then same thing happens in post as well. It's like, no, this will be fine. Yeah, everyone will just sit there because there's one guy with a gun and there's 50 of those lying on the floor. And, have a go heroes, and you're in the middle of Texas. And he gets caught by it. And I think it, like I say, I think it feeds into the themes that we all, all of us, it's some point or another, until we have it proved to us, physically. Look at things like businesses and corporations and places that we work for, or banks, or, people that we buy stuff from, and go, they're not going to do me over. They're fine people. They're just like me, and that's fine. Why would they do that? What are they going to gain out of it? Until it happens, and then you never get caught again, and that's what happens with Chris Pine. He kind of, until that moment when he gets shot, he sort of like, there's something in him that switches. So when he faces down Jeff Bridges, instead of doing that kind of, being all innocent and saying, not saying a word, he's like, I'm going to come and fucking kill you, basically. that's that conversation, isn't it? I'm wondering if you can reach that gun before I blow you off that chair, sort of thing. Yeah, and again, the naivety of him going to his wife, his ex-wife, and saying, "Oh, I'm going to sort things out," and she's like, Pff.
Yeah, that's another character I didn't like very much.
Oh, the wife.
Yeah, the wife.
Yeah.
Just.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but again, you don't know what the situation is there.
What? Chris Pine's ex-wife. Why? Why didn't you like her?
Because I don't know. Just something with the attitude. I think it's because I've seen everyone else with an attitude like that.
Right.
And she was just another one in a long line of people.
Product of the environment again.
Yeah, with a shitty attitude. It was just, yeah.
Well, it was the moment when he said, "Oh, I'm gonna give the ranch over to the kids," give the ranch over to the boys, and she just goes, "Oh, another thing I have to look after." And it's like, oh, you, that's good. You got some land, and you're not happy about it. And at first,
she's been looking after the kids, though, hasn't she?
Yeah, no, I get that. I'm not saying she's wrong. I'm just saying that it seemed like a kind of like, oh.
When you get a ranch that has land and a fucking oil well, and you're going to be looking after the money, I think that might take the sting out of it a bit.
Yeah, I was going to
You know
say.
what I mean?
He was keeping quiet about that, though, wasn't he?
I suppose, yeah, that's true. Yeah, she didn't know what she was getting until she did. But then the thing is, even then, she gets that ranch, gets all the money. They're getting $50,000. Was it $50,000 a month or something stupid like that?
Something like that. Yeah.
And then she walks in, looks at him, looks at Jeff Bridges on the thing, and says, "Right, don't forget to fix the back of the house.
Yeah.
You know, the fence isn't fixed." He's like, "You what?" Fuck you is what? So yeah, again, he's very not naive. Well, I suppose he is naive, but also he's very placid. Is it placid? What am I trying to think? Passive.
Yeah.
Very passive. He lets things happen rather than doing something about it. And the only time he does, he gets people killed in the heists. Anyway, I'm trying to think what else. I mean, I don't want to just roll over the same old things over and over again, but has anyone got any additional thoughts they want to bring out or throw on the table?
There was 2 amusing moments, I thought. One not very amusing, but it's when the lady in the bank is on the floor and the bank manager comes in on the first robbery and they're hidden behind the doors. And he goes, "Oh, good morning," and then just gets a whack right in his face for his troubles, which is kind of echoed when the brother is asleep on the sofa, and Chris Pine just tries to wake him up, ready for the morning to go out doing the robberies, and he just shit panics himself and starts grabbing around, goes and then sits down and goes, "Oh, morning."
Yeah, morning. Yeah. The other thing I wanted to talk about was the general, apart from the general mood, which was bleak as fuck. What about the whole thing with the cattle ranchers taking the cows across the landscape and the whole thing's on fire, and it's like, why you set a fire? We didn't. It just sprung up. And it's like, well, what are you doing now? And it's like, well, I just rather they just took me and burnt me to ashes because I don't have any money left. It's like, wow. It was that whole thing of clinging to the cowboy way of life, the dream that didn't exist.
Well, the fire is the bank, isn't it?
Just coming over the hill, symbolically burning everything to the ground.
Yep.
They do actually say the cowboy went, "Look at this, 21st century, and we're driving cows across a plain with horses."
So someone 5,000 miles away can have a burger or something, wasn't it? Something like that. Some arsehole in New York can have a burger. I mean, again, it's another theme that it's just relentlessly kind of bleak view of the world, and everyone's just fooling themselves, thinking that banks have their best interest at heart, that cops are doing things for the right reasons, that everyone's a good guy, and that the cowboy way of life is still the right way of life. Is it? That's all.
I did like that bit where Chris Pine's sitting in the office with the bank manager.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, "I'm not going to go until I've seen you do the thing you need to do." Oh, but it's it'll take till the end of the week. It is the end of the week.
Yeah.
He was sweating, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, it was, because it's like then they can say, "Oh, we didn't post it in time, therefore we foreclosed, didn't we?" Yeah, and I again, that was that whole thing of the switch from being a passive to being focused, laser focused, and the change That was the bit I was trying to remember. The change in Chris Pine, where he suddenly goes from being like, "Oh yeah, I'll let my brother just fuck in the distance or whatever in the same room, or I'll just go to this post office that I didn't think was a good idea," you know. Suddenly it's like, no, actually, we're going to do things my way and now, sort of thing. And I thought that was really cool. Lastly, acting. Let's just cover it, because I mean, I know we've been thumbs up everything, but you said, Elton, you said you didn't really rate Chris Pine, but now you do.
I don't think I've seen him in too much. I think I've only seen him in the Star Trek stuff. I don't remember anything else I've seen him in.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think I was... When I saw that he was on there, I was like, oh, am I going to like this? Because I don't think I liked his smugness in the Star Treks. And so I was like, oh, okay, I'll go with it. I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
I thought he was so damn good. And it's just the looks he gives, even when he's got the balaclava on, just the looks, you know, like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So much expression of, shit, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
With the balaclava on.
Yeah, he's got very expressive eyes.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'll tell you what, where Chris Pine is concerned, if you ever see any clips of him from the film, I think it's Into the Woods, which is it's a sort of all
bollocks.
These fairy tale, but he's in the only decent part in it, where you have the two Prince Charmings having a charm off.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I love
Yeah.
that. Absolutely brilliant. Those two.
Yeah. Well, he's the voice of the he's the voice of the alternate Peter Parker, isn't he? In the Spider-Verse.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. The old man Peter Parker.
Yeah.
So that's that. Or is he the one that gets murdered at the beginning? Either way,
he could be that.
Yeah, he's definitely in that. And the one I liked him in, which recently was the Dungeons and Dragons Honor Amongst Thieves.
Oh yes, yes.
I want to see this. I've not been able to get hold of hold of it yet.
Yeah, it. Don't worry. Yes.
See, Chris Pine put me off of that.
I think you'll find. The problem is with him is he's only as good as the script.
Yeah.
He's one of those kind of actors where it's going like, I wouldn't put him up with Al Pacino or anything, but I'm just saying, if you put someone in a film with a cheesy script, he'll be cheesy. If you put him in a script which is really good, he'll be really good.
Mm-hmm.
If it's just kind of a mediocre, if he's got nothing to do, he won't do anything. You know what I mean? He won't do like a Pacino or something and kind of constantly twitching and gurning or
drag something out of that script and make it a great script. Yeah,
he's generic action man number one. You can just put him anywhere, and he'll adapt to the material he's given, I think. And I'd be interested to see more of him in more serious roles rather than just here he is action man number 444121. I mean, he was probably the best thing in the Wonder Woman movies, I thought, but
yeah.
In terms of just being sort of like the everyman, audience character.
I'll be honest. When I saw the poster, I thought it was Trevor Phillips. What's his name? Stephen Ogg.
Who? Sorry?
The guy who plays Trevor Phillips in Grand Theft Auto 5.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. I know.
I thought it was him.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I know what you mean, though. I do get it. Yeah, but yeah, I was quite impressed. I was quite impressed with him actually, because like I say, he's gone from being just Smuggy McSmugson from Smugville to being like, solid actor.
Yeah,
but like I say, you can easily just watch something else. Like, what's that other nonsense that I saw him with? Oh God, it was absolute crap with Tom Hardy. this is war or something like that, and it starts off as like a spy, rival spy thing, and then it turns into a rom-com, and it's just like, oh god, it's awful, fucking toe curling rubbish. But yeah. But what about Jeff Bridges? Come on, can I just ask two things? One,
Yeah.
did you understand him, or did you have to turn the volume up? Because at one point, he was speaking so I was thinking, it would be nice if someone got him some new teeth.
I think Jeff Bridges these days plays probably the same role now. He always plays the heavily moustached cowboy talking individual.
I mean, I don't mind it, because I think it was perfect for the role here, but it was just... It was just one of those moments I was just sort of like, at the start, it took me a while to focus in on what he was saying.
I think there was a lot of that. I think he was rolling the words around his mouth before spitting them out, definitely. It felt like his mouth was acting independently of the rest of his body. But you're right, there was a bit of...
Yeah.
What was that? Okay, yeah. You kind of work it out 3 minutes later.
Yeah.
Sheriff is a nit. Bang.
Dang. Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of quite broad Texan accents in this, and
Yeah.
I found out that I tuned into that wavelength early on, so it wasn't a problem.
Yeah. There's a lot of triple negatives in every sentence as well.
Oh, yeah.
There's not a lot going round, not down here, and it's like, what? No,
Yeah.
okay. So there's a not. Okay.
You ain't got to do that thing. What?
For nothing.
What
Yeah.
the fuck?
Wow.
Yeah.
Not doing nothing for nothing.
Ain't nobody not got nothing when I ain't got nothing. What?
So you got a Jeff Bridges accent for me? I sure do.
We're thinking of a southern Texan drawl, as if someone's lost their teeth and is gargling marbles.
But won't that be hard? No. Actually,
Super easy.
it's barely an inconvenience.
Oh, really? Yeah. That's so. Anyway, that's it for me. I think this film was really good. I think for all of it, its pacing was methodical, but I think it needed to be. I would have hated it if it was just a run, gun, bang, 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 bang heist movie.
Just one other thing with the acting and Jeff Bridges. The relief and the dread that he experiences once he's killed Tanner on that mountainside. You can see it, every emotion washing over him. It's like, yeah, I've done it, and oh my god, now I've got the grim realization of what I've got to do next.
Yeah, it was
superb.
It was really good. I mean, there was so many good moments where it wasn't even the script; it was just them acting on the screen. It was like, there you go, there's acting.
Yep.
someone bring in Zack Snyder and sit him down in front of this movie and say, this isn't acting, this is acting. Look at this. Look at this. None of that
slow-mo in sight.
Yeah, look at this. Not people staring at big CGI plastic spiders on rods. No, look, acting. But there you go. Cool. Right, I think we'll leave it there unless anyone's got any last minute things to say.
No, I'm good.
Okie dokie. Right, well then it's just down to me to leave a phrase, which is, "Dagnammit, the sheriff is near."
Oh, that was close.
You sure?
Yep. Dagnammit, the sheriff is near. Because that's what he says. What did he say? I think he said the sheriff is near. He's just drunk. Anyway, so there you go. Dagnammit, the sheriff is near. Not only was it good old fashioned.
Curly's right.
Not only was it good old fashioned native, no, it was good old fashioned gibberish. Embodies the old West.
Doug Johnson's right.
Howard Johnson's correct too. Anyway, so yes, so that's that. So now, before we go and head over to Pimp's Corner, it's time for Jim to reveal to us what it is next week's movie.
Well, I weighed this up long and hard.
Mm-hmm.
I thought next week is St. Patrick's Day.
Oh dear. Oh God. I'm bracing myself because I think I know where this is going.
Luckily for all of you, Leprechaun in Space has left Amazon Prime. So you dodged a bullet there.
However,
I did come across a film called The Blair Rabbit Project, which I was very intrigued by. I might say that for Easter. However, inside I did see one of these sort of clickbaity articles going, this hybrid sci-fi thriller is an underappreciated gem on Netflix.
mm-hmm.
Oh, no.
And so I was like, okay, I'll take a punt on this.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't look at too many details other than what the Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb consensus scores were.
Mm-hmm.
And I go, okay, they're very healthy. They're good. You're definitely in the good territory. So I know next to nothing about this because I'm trying to avoid any spoilers. But it's a film from 2018 called Freaks, which is on Netflix.
Freaks 2018.
And from what I did glean, I think it's definitely a case of don't try and find out too much about it. Don't read reviews because it is a kind of a twisty-turny, everything is not what it seems sort of a story.
Right.
And I
Okay.
thought, yep, that'll do nicely, I think.
Nice.
It could be good. It could be atrocious, but
But
generally, with the sort of weighted metrics of scores, nearly everything averages out at a 6 or a 7. So when you get in the 8 category, you go, okay, this is probably a safer bet.
Okay. No, that's
there we
cool. That's very cool. I'm looking at the poster right now. I'm not looking at anything else. Yeah. Nice. Let's get some of that down, let's say. Cool. Right. Brilliant.
Okay.
So next week it'll be Freaks on Netflix. And it is Freaks 2018, not Freaks 1932. Dibble dabble dibble double. One of us.
No.
No.
I guess on streaming anyway because it's still massively offensive.
Well,
It
exactly.
upsets people.
Exactly. But I thought I'd point that out before anyone suddenly gets
If you're watching it in black and white,
yes, back the fuck up.
back away. That's still a tough watch.
Yes, it's not a cheerful a cheerful way of sitting down. Yeah, brilliant. Okie dokie. Well, that's brilliant. So next week, 2018's Freaks on Netflix. There you go. So now over to Pimp's Corner, and we'll be pimping out the Hypnagoria stuff. Jim, what's happening, sir?
Well, so we do have a Commentary Club St. Patrick Day special. I can't remember when. I'm so ahead of my schedule, I don't know what's going on. But that's an Irish film called Apocalypse Clown. I'll
Right.
get it in the next week or so for St. Patrick's Day. And I've just dropped on the main show the first half of a tribute to the late, great Brian Lumley, who the writer who passed away
Yeah.
at the start of this year.
Okay, that's brilliant. And that's all over at hypnagoria.com.
It is indeed.
Lovely. And over at Rogue 2 Media, what do we have going on there, Elton?
We have cars going around in circles on the Grand Prix podcast.
Yep, lovely.
And we've just dropped episode 7 or part 7 of Masters of the Air
Right.
as well. So,
Brilliant.
Go download that, give us a rating and a review, and move along
Another
your
show
merry
with
way.
Austin Butler in it.
Yeah, Austin
Yes.
Butler, yeah. There you go. Except this one isn't 3 hours long and you have to sit there smelling someone else's farts while in a cinema.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, that's good. So, and that's all over at rogue2media.com.
Yep.
Brilliant.
Certainly
And that's great. So, that's it. Darren, I'm not going to ask you because I just know the answer.
Oh, that's just rude.
All right then, Darren, are you doing anything podcasty related that you would like to share with the group?
Absolutely nothing. No.
Right. I am Jack's
I
lack
don't know why
of
you bother
surprise.
asking. I don't know why you bother asking me. I really don't.
I really don't. And that's it. Right. So thank you very much for listening. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Darren. Thank you, Elton.
No problem.
And as ever, take a look at Hell or High Water, and also join us here next week for Freaks. So until then, take care. Tatty bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Ta-da.
We must stand away from the window. Do not drink the Novichok tea.
Oh, bollocks to it.